Alright, so in this one, we are going to be doing my Dragon Ball Legends top 10 list a bit early, but I do feel that where I am thinking right now is where I want to place these units as Parts 2 has started. I actually will be doing probably another one of these with like every unit in the game, like a week or two, just because I'll have more of an understanding of these new units of Bardock and Goku and everything else that's come from Part 1 as well. But listen, I know this list is going to be a little bit wild at a lot of points, but, and you can see there's 10 units here. Yes, there's spots where if they're in the same bracket, say 7, 8 exists, they are interchangeable. They are not, you know, this could be this or that. They are quite literally, you could swap them, no problem with me. There's going to be another interchangeable here as well, but, there's only 10 units here. You could see one unit you guys probably figured would be on this is actually not. And that is Mr. LSL, which I'll go into the details as we go through this when we mention other characters. But this list, it is it is something hard to form. So let me just let you know that it is hard to make a top 10 right now. But I feel this is what I am thinking of the current meta and the top 10 of it. So without further ado, this wire is really getting in the way here, huh? Without further ado, let us get into it. Again, this is my opinion off what I've been facing last season. I guess a little bit of this season, not really, but like more what I am understanding of the game and what is really prospering in the game right now and what is falling down. To begin, number 10. Now, originally, I didn't want Sky on the list, but I have to accept, even if I don't like this unit right now, I'm just kind of getting an agenda against them, really. LF17. Now, you guys might think, wow, that's really low. Hear me out. This is actually similar to JP players. They actually put a number 12 in their list prior to Goku Bardock, which I don't think it impacts them very much because you're not going to really run into them because they're homeless, right? But LF17. Now, I've said it a billion times over. I keep repeating it because it just feels true and, well, it's accurate to my experience. LF17 is dying to red. So you got Gohan, you got UVB. Sometimes you got 8 Vegeta, but like more Gohan and UVB can both pretty much beat this guy out. Now, with that being said, I understand he's utility. He's giving you cut pen on the gauge. He's giving you support on the green card, double vanish. He goes type neutral. Again, he might just be dead prior to going type neutral, right? And a double vanishes, but he can still do those things. So he's giving you utility, and you can, you know, gas that. But what I'm valuing as what I've been playing against and using is that this character goes down because while he can do that, I think he barely makes it since he's core on reps right now. But this character, he is just diminishing in his own right. His team is beyond carrying him, right? If this guy didn't have androids, when androids was, you know, popping with Cell and Gammas, and there was really nothing to stop it besides UVB because he's very good against androids. Because again, LS17 cannot tank as a blue unit. He just can't tank. He takes a lot from UVB. Does like 60% to a minimum. It's like a full combo against UVB, which you would have your blue unit tank the red, right? But nonetheless, he is doing his thing of utility, but individually, this unit is flawed to a pretty decent extent. Again, while he can neutral, this actually is your first sack off. So he gets neutral when an ally's dead, right? Well, if I have, let's say, UVB, Piccolo, Gogeta, and then something else to that third, whatever it is, let's just say Janemba, you know, leader on fusions, why not? Which I will get into later on. UVB can just rush out. Okay, he can rush Jiren. He's dead. Can't stop it. If I rush with UVB into a Jiren Evo Kaio Ken, then they sack off LS17. Well, LS17's gone. So that double vanish, that type neutral, that Dragon Ball destruction, I think he can get as well. All that poof in the air because you're always going to sack them off first. You're not going to sack off Evo Kaio Ken. You need to keep them because they are very good mid game to late game. Then Jiren, he gets very powerful late game, especially after a rush. So keeping Jiren makes sense. Keeping Evo Kaio Ken makes sense. This guy's your sack off first, but then his utility comes from when the gauge is popped. And usually his gauge will be popped by the time a rush is kind of spawned or being spawned out. So his self-utility kind of goes out the window because he's just going to be killed first anyways. You know, that double vanish thing. Maybe it happens once, but not very common, I would say, because rush will happen mid-game now. It's not just early game rushes, it's mid-game rushes, which you would about get that gauge or just about, you know, pop it, just about almost get it. That's kind of like where a rush is spawning because LS17 is taking quite a few cards to get his gauge here. And I think his self stuff goes down a whole mountain. Again, not particularly because of anything specific of XYZ just releasing. It's just more that I've run into fusions, and fusions is a dilemma for this character because UVB is just there and just having such a freeness, and UVB will be rated high here because how freeness he is, because while there is a 2 blue units here, you see 2 top 10 blues. Bardock, Goku don't count because they're both, but see 2 top 10 blues, neither are tanky. I mean, Goku even is not tanky. None of these blue units are tanky, so UVB is not having a troublesome situation. Again, he's paired with Piccolo Gogeta, and I feel LS17, while I don't want him top 10, I really just don't feel it in my heart of hearts here. I do have to accept that this character is doing top 10 things into being core currently of reps. I do want to try again. This is why I say I'm going to make another tier list in like a week or two. I want to try when the season gets going. It's really amping up to you're going to fight high rank, high stars, really good meta teams 24/7. I want to try Piccolo leader slot on reps. I want to try Cell leader slot on reps. I want to see if a different leader slot unit can work on reps better than LF17, and then if it does, boom, he's off my top 10. But right now, I don't have that experience to put him lower because I haven't tried it yet. It's too early season to test these teams out and really see the prowess of this unit leader. Piccolo, okay, he's really good on revival with Gogeta. He has revival, so he's more safe than LF17, and he's spawning a lot of green cards, which Evo Kaio Ken love. LF Jiren loves. You have Cell who could be there because there's not really, I mean, you look at his list here. Where's the yellow? There's no yellow, so LF Cell could be very good as well. Maybe he could rise up and be number 10 instead. LF Cell is not on here because I haven't had a chance to test that yet, but that's what I'm going off of. I haven't had the experience fully with everything, but I've had enough to devalue 17 and understand this guy is sinking in my eyes, and he's sinking fast. This is the fall off of LF17 in my vision. I know I explained that a lot because that's probably one of the most controversial ones. Number 9, though, I do have Piccolo. It's pretty simple to me. You're going to wonder probably why Piccolo over Cell? Piccolo just has movies. I mean, you're up to this debate here. We're going to run Piccolo or Piccolo Gogeta. It really is up to your preference. There's not much different going on between the 2 units in their own individual kits. I would say Piccolo is better if you have more just geared toward, okay, big burst damage. Janemba is very good with Piccolo because you don't have to force use Piccolo. You just pop his main, okay, you pop a green card maybe, and then boom, you revive. Piccolo, you gotta do all these other things. You gotta do a couple things with him, and for him to really prosper is by doing and using Piccolo. You have to use him prior to reviving. Piccolo, you don't. So that's kind of the big gap in the pre. Then the post, there's not much different. I would say Gogeta is better just because especially more teams, but nonetheless, the difference between Cell and Piccolo is just one has movies, one doesn't. They're both doing their job correctly. I do think Piccolo is struggling a little bit. He is doing fine against the blue units, which is going to be good because Janemba is going to be in the top tier here because that just makes sense. But he's not doing anything fantastic. He's not doing anything crazy. I would say this kind of 8 through 10 spot is not really anything outstanding. It's more just the utility kind of units. Obviously, units above it still have utility, but they kind of aren't as focused on it. Piccolo here has the team heal. He has the green card spawn off that. He has the revival. He has the gauge again. He has the Dragon Ball destruction on that. He has the card destruction. Blah, blah, blah. He has durability more because he has the plat equip. Yeah, and blah, blah, blah. You already know these things. So Piccolo, I don't even think he moved much. I think he was actually 10A or 10B, and now he's 9. So he barely moved. And he just moved up because I'm valuing this green unit higher than this blue unit because, well, he's a green unit and he's good against the blue unit, right? Makes sense. And again, the teams, he's just on better teams than Cell. While Cell maybe is better individual, this is an individual-based game. 3v3. Gotta factor that, right? Then, 7 through 8. So again, I think these 2 units are both interchangeable. If you have one higher than the other, I wouldn't, say anything about it. I would just be like, okay, cool. Good for you. Good for me. Let's move on. By the way, if you do disagree, let me know why. I'm curious the details because I know a lot of people probably will disagree, but hopefully I'm explaining it well enough to where you could see my perspective of this. But 7 through 8, just going to plop them here. My ordering of them is, for myself at least, again, these 2 can swap if you'd like to, is here. Goku Frieza and Goku Bardock. Now, let me touch on, Goku Bardock since they're at 8th, technically here. Goku Bardock, while they are great, they are a fantastic unit. I think individually they, rival Evo Kaio Ken, who I would have in a very top tier positioning here. Goku Frieza, all these characters that are probably going to be above them, they're rivaling them in their individual basis. But this unit is homeless. I mean, that's just straight up how it is. I've found a very good home for them in fusions, but it's just not ideal. You could kind of just run other characters. Like if I were leader slot, okay, Janemba or Goku Bardock, what's the smarter play? Janemba, right? No shit, sure. Like if I were leader Beast Gohan or Goku Bardock, what's smarter play? Beast Gohan, right? So it's like, you can do this, but why would you? There's just better options. So it's just silly. If they don't have a home, they just have to diminish. I mean, I think this unit's a lot better than their placement here, but they don't have a place to live. What are you going to do? Sun Family, Saiyans, what are you going to do? 8 Vegeta, Goku, Bardock, and Beast Gohan? That's just kind of like, why not just run movies at that point? You're just making a worse off team, and that doesn't give them more value. That makes their value go lower because they don't have anywhere that's just concrete. Again, this unit's still very good. Having number 8 is not bad. I mean, shit, look at LFCell not on the list. It's just because his teams. This unit is just so good individually that they have to make top 10 somewhere. And because of how good they are individually, it's kind of the opposite of LF17. He's getting hurt because how bad he is individually right now for getting killed by red units so quickly and all this other crap I just talked about. Goku Bardock are so good individually on their own basis that they have to be up here. And now, touch on Goku Frieza, by the way, indestructible, very good mechanic. It is better than I figured it would be, especially because the combo break. Let's say you remove someone's vanish and then they catch you, but then they pop your indestructible. They have no cards, they have no switching. Okay, boom, you just catch them back in a combo, boom. You're going to probably kill them, if not make them swap. Get a rush out, you run them on again. Fusions, UVB, boom, rush out, get a free kill, right? You can literally make things work with indestructible while you're getting your own ass beat. Like, pretty solid mechanic. Hope they make it better over time, but solid baseline what they have created with the first, indestructible mechanic unit here. Now, Goku Frieza, why I have them above is for really just one reason. That's just because teams. Well, I don't think Strike Reps is the best thing in the world. Whether you want to run it hits or 8 Vegeta leader slot, then it's going to be Jiren and Goku Frieza is that, trio there. Again, you pick between hit or ape. I still think they can still do their thing. They still have this capable 1v3 setting for themselves. If you're going to run them on Strike Reps, you're probably going to be Zenka buffing them. Let's say you leader slot Jiren, right? You run Ape, and then you run Goku Frieza. Okay, from there, you can do 2x Zenkai buff, right? Because you have Saiyans, so you can just run Saiyan Zenkai buffs for them there, because you have Ape Vegeta who's going to get the ability, then Jiren's a leader slot, so he's going to get anyways. You can make that work, and they're going to be 2x Zenkai buff there, have an HP bench, the typical things you do, and then they're still going to do their cookery. They still do very well as an individual unit. I don't think the setup, but I've been seeing a lot of LF17, or Jiren, I guess, either or. LF17 or Jiren, then Evo Ken and Goku Frieza is a thing. I don't think that's a good setup at all. I think that's terrible, matter of fact. I think if that's like a thing that gets more common, you'll see the cracks in it more often, but to summarize, that setup just doesn't do enough because you have to ramp up 2 units, and it's hard to ramp up 1 unit sometimes, especially if you're not getting good RNG with the green cards of Evo Kaio Ken. You really, you're in a struggle fest there, so I don't know about that one, but I think Strike Reps is good enough to where you can argue its usability. I don't think it's perfect, I'm not going to lie to you here, but I do think it's good enough to where you could actually have this unit be more valued than Goku Bardock. Again, I just am valuing this team aspect a lot more than this individual aspect, and I think you can notice that as we continue on. Now, number 6 here. Number 6, I do have... You look at these characters like, who the hell is going on here? Yeah, I got Piccolo Gogeta. So I had them 10B last time. Now, the thing that's changed for me, I don't know if people are facing this often. I watched the videos on it. I faced it a lot last season, and it was, bro, I've never had more hell. If you want to watch the videos, go back a week and see the videos at the end of the season. You'll see the hell I'm discussing here. But fusions. Fusions, bro. I don't care if it was Janemba leader, Beast leader, pure fusions, whatever. It was UVB, Piccolo Gogeta, and then whatever. If they're UGB, Go Tanks, it doesn't matter. For the most part, it would be Beast, right? I would think it would be Beast, because it's just like, again, you don't have to worry about blues. They do not hit you hard. Well, okay, LS17 does hit you hard, comparably to Janemba, and then they die very quickly, right? Especially because you have a green right there. So you could run double red and be more or less safe. I wouldn't say it's the best thing, but I wouldn't say it's the worst thing. Piccolo Gogeta, from how much I've faced fusions and how much they were just a pain in my fucking side, and not even to mention movies, because I would say they're on the core movies as well as Piccolo. Again, it's up to your, up to your discretion at that point, but I'm just thinking about it. Fusions, the amount of HP, the amount of durability, because think of it like this. You got UVB, who's healing every kill. UVB does very well early game, so he can just get you very low, very easily in early game setting. Again, no one's tanking UVB. I think UVB and Jiren are the most free units in this meta right now, because UVB, there's no one tanking him, so he's just beating the ever-living fucking dog piss out of you. It's just like, dear God, give me a tanky blue unit, I'm pleading to you. Then Jiren, you're not facing these yellows because how good Beast is and how good UVB already is. Because Movies is such a foundational team you're going to run into very often. Then UVB, while he's not as often being used, when you do run into him, he still gives that Beast vibe where he's just like, how the fuck am I supposed to deal with this red unit? Doesn't really make sense. My blues are dying to him, so what do I do? I'm not saying it's hard to kill these reds, but I am saying it's more tricky than not to kind of just like deal with them. Like, it's not easy to deal with Beast or UVB. I would say UVB is actually, to an extent, just because his teams are worse off, yes, but like he's harder to deal with because of how much sustain Fusions has. You have Fusions that has triple HP equips on strike attack, and it's like this. I see UVBs with like 3.8 million health with a Zenkai buff, and they're doing like 70 to 80% to my type neutral unit. I'm like, huh? Like, maybe I don't run Fusions, maybe I run uni reps, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna let Jiren take some hits. Jiren takes like 50% after like 5 cards. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta swap. Holy shit, I'm taking too much. Let me go to LF17. LF17 ends up taking like 30, 40% from the rest of the combo. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck am I gonna do? And that's just one combo. It's like, how do I deal with this? Then they also have Beast or Janemba in the back end. Bro, the Fusion roster, the safety, obviously, Piccolo Gogeta can't supply. It is immeasurably, bro, you could see me just like thinking, like, it is so agonizingly tedious and just fucking broken. And again, I'm not even mentioning Movies. While Movies is the better team, I would say Fusions is like a top 3 team, being number 3. You have obviously Movies, then Unireps, and I don't think there's a gap between the 3. I think maybe Movies has like a small gap between Unireps, but like Movies to rather Unireps to Fusions, I don't think there's a big gap at all. I don't think there's much of a gap at all, really. But you have these setups, man, and the fact that they flow on 2 top 3 teams, in my opinion, it's like, how could I not rate them highly? I have to respect them more. The fact that I ran to Fusion so much kind of gave me the eye-opening situation of like, I don't think they're top 4. You know, I'm not gonna lie to myself and say like they're there, they're fucking God. Someone else is top 4, which is even more surprising. But I do think the goodness of Fusions, the goodness of Movies is just impeccably high. If you haven't run, you know, Fusions and you have a high star UVB, a high star Piccolo Gogeta, and whatever third you want to slap on the team, a Janemba, for fuck's sake, oh my God, you're gonna give everyone a headache and be like, how the fuck do I do this? It is tough, bro. My experience, those went to timers, and I would lose on a timer because they do so much damage and they heal so much, or it's like I had to double rush every single time I faced Fusions. I don't know. Maybe my experience is just jaded, but I was running good-ass teams, and I was getting my ass fucking handed to me by Fusions. So I don't know, man. I maybe I'm wrong on this, but from my perspective, I feel like I'm right, which that's what this list is anyways, right? Number 5, since I just gassed up Fusions, could you figure which one's number 5? Well, hold on a second. I need to take a sip because I've been yapping, all Japanese here. Also, can someone timestamp like each placement? That'd be great. I appreciate it. So I can remember. Thank you. Number 5 is UVB for me. Obviously, again, I am valuing this unit on a Fusions roster. This guy is very good. I don't think Future is terrible right now. I don't think it's great. I would say like Androids and then Regen and Future are kind of like teetering the same, you know, vibe of area. Androids, Regen, Future kind of like teetering that, you know, 4 through 6 area of teams. But that's not bad. It's just there's better. By the way, W Heater in the background. I appreciate that. Please comment that. Thank you. W Heater. But number 5, again, this unit's just individual value. He's free. I got to value his individual, and then I got to value Fusions. I've just been gassing up Fusions for the last 5 minutes straight. Fusions is a very solid team in my eyes. Then you have UVB, who just is free as fuck. Again, Janemba does not stop UVB. You pop that gauge, okay, everyone's going to let you pop it early because they just kind of let that happen. Silly plays, but like they just kind of let that happen. And then boom, go to Piccolo Gogeta, okay, get UVB up in there, and then UVB, he's doing 67% to UVB, to Janemba, to LF17. Then type neutral happens, like, okay, you have to swap out of type neutral because you will get one combo most likely. If not, you're going to take about 80%. Do you want to take 80% damage on one combo? No, you don't, right? So you got to swap out. Okay, then you take 40% on that other character. It's like, you just took 70%, then 40%. How the fuck do you cope that? I mean, I get it, units heal quite often in this game right now, but it's just hard because they're healing even more. Again, UVB has very good baseline equips there, giving strike attack and then base health. So this guy has high as fuck HP, On top of having that high HP, he has a safety with Revival. He has the Janemba Gauge, or the other Beast Gohan behind him, or UGB, or Gotenks with another Endurance and Revival. Holy shit, even more durability, right? That sounds like a pain in the ass. And he's running on the team there, and he's the main damage. UVB for the early game is main damage. If you have Janemba, yes, obviously that could help out as well, but running a core fusion setup, which I don't think is great, but you can run that, and you have, you know, Piccolo Gogeta, UGB, or Gotenks as that, you know, third option. He's the main damage. You just soak up the Janemba Gauge, okay, go to Piccolo Gogeta, come back to UVB. You're clearing. You're not struggling. UVB is so free in output. It is kind of wild that they let this happen. Like, you wouldn't think UVB, you know, you look at Anniversary, you're like, oh, god damn it, Goku, LF17, Goku Frieza, Janemba. UVB can't exist. But he's so easy right now. Name it Goku. Who are you? You're gone. Goku Frieza, you're on strike reps. No one's really running you right now. LF17, you're being run. You're being run. Don't get me wrong. You're being run a lot. But you don't take hits. So it's like, you gotta swap to Jiren to take the hits. Okay, well from there, I can go to Janemba, which Janemba does not struggle against Jiren. You know, there's units that struggle against Jiren because he's so bulky, and Jiren's gonna be mentioned soon. You could probably tell because we're at the top 4 soon. But, he does not take hits like the Champion of Gods against UVB because UVB is debuffing, right? So those debuffs really hurt Jiren a lot because you can't stop them. They're not just like, oh, can't do that shit anymore. No, you gotta do drop combo and UVB gauge, or rather, vanish removal there. You know, keep going, spam out 5 cards, okay. You let Jiren take those hits, I don't know, what is he taking, like 60 to 80% from like a raw thing of like a full combo? You let LS17 take those hits, what is he taking? I don't know, 70%, 60%? He's type fucking advantage? Like, I can't stop glazing UVB here because he's just so free. He's so easy and so free. There's not really a struggle if you're the user of UVB. I mean, it's kind of like Janemba, just Janemba's on better teams. UVB only having 1 team right now, and this is prior to the most likely Ultra in Part 3, he can, I don't know where he can go, but I know he can only go up from here. He is very highly rated in my opinion, and I think he deserves that. Now, number 4. Yeah, you're going to be surprised by this one. I was too, but I've seen too much in my opinion. Jiren. Now, let me mention one thing about Jiren first off, just right off the bat. Jiren counter to Goku Bardock, straight out. Not even debatable. I've used this unit. I haven't even faced the craziest start of Jiren, and I can feel it already. For one, we don't have a melee-based Strike Yellow that can float anywhere. You know, AGF, Blast Base, Gamma's, Blast Base, Kid Buu. Doesn't really work right now, especially because Kid Buu against UVB or Bees. What the fuck am I gonna do? Die. That's what I'm gonna do. So there's no real counter to Jiren. Again, I mentioned UVB and Jiren are the most free units in the current meta. And I mean that because Jiren has nothing against him. UVB has blues that don't tank against him. So what really is their dilemma? Nothing, right? Jiren soaks hits very well. He's obviously core on Unireps. And by the way, I'm very surprised by this turn of events because I had Jiren pegged as like, he's not going to get much. But, you know, depending what happens for Part 1, we'll see. He's going to get insane value. And even when Part 1 dropped, it was like, okay, maybe run him, maybe AGF. Now it's just like, run fucking Jiren, bro. I don't care who your third is. It's Evo Ken, Jiren. Who gives a fuck about the third? Run fucking Jiren. This guy is stonewalling PvP. He is the tank of PvP. He is the only tank, the only relevant tank. You know, Akuma Goldo can do their thing, Cape, Gohan, whatever. These obscure characters, you're not running them. Straight out, you're not running them. Their teams aren't good enough. Who cares about them? Jiren? I don't even know how to describe how well he takes everything. There's like, again, I would say UVB and Janemba are like the only 2 that can really hurt Jiren, and I would say Janemba after like 3 cards is starting to hurt Jiren, not even like the first 2 cards, which Janemba builds up very fast, by the way. And UVB only hurts him because he's debuffing him. These units are the harder hitting units in the game very early on and very quickly, and he doesn't care. This guy can do very good damage. His blue card being very good damage as well. Once a rush happens, holy fuck. I kind of sometimes like having Jiren last man standing over Evo Kaio Ken if the rush happened like very recently, because you know that rush stuff he gets is so fucking crazy. The cover and all, everything. Oh my god. This guy beats the fucking piss out of you and then tanks your entire combo, and it's like, huh? And on top of, this dumbass can feint you. So I've gotten feinted 92 trillion times personally. He feints you into an ult, your team is blown up. there's no yellow. So how do you not blow up from that? Unless LF17's in prior, and there's like a little niche LF17s have good value, and that's why he's top 10 still. But like, if that's not the case, even if it's like Beast Gohan that's in, because he can cancel the HP upgrades similar to LF17 or Janemba or something like that, he's blowing you the fuck up. It's so easy. This character does so much damage, so much tanking. I'm pretty sure you can double Zenkai buff him on reps with UI Omen as well, and this guy with a double Zenkai buff, holy fucking crap, I don't want to face him, ever. Anytime I use Goku Bardock, I couldn't tag out. And the thing is, Goku doesn't hit hard enough. Goku's not stacking damage. They gotta keep tagging out to build up damage, right? So I can't go to Bardock because I'm gonna get 2-carded by Jiren on his blast because he hits hard as fuck, and I'm green. Then I can't go in with Goku because I'm not gonna do enough damage. Then I have no good unit to run alongside these two that can do crazy damage to make Jiren swap. So it's just like, he's just juggernauting the entirety of PvP. And while Reps is not the best team in the game, in my opinion, man, he makes it really fucking discussable up to movies. Like, I said there's a little small gap, but like, it really was a lot wider of a gap when AGF was there. And now it's like, you know, here's the little gap. The gap was kind of here with AGF. Now it's like here with movies to Reps. It is... Jiren is way too fucking good, bro. The output, the defense, I don't know. They didn't even do much on his Zenkai, and they gave enough. If they gave any more, I don't know where he'd be, but he would be higher than this, and this is top 4. Moving on from that, though, I wonder what we're going to say about that one. Number 3, I do have Evo Kaio Ken. Obviously, they are the best unit on Reps for the most part of the match. Even early, actually, maybe you could debate Jiren early games better because they are very slow early game. But once this unit gets going, you know how they work. Their placement hasn't even changed, I'm pretty sure, from the last time. I would say they are still very valuable. They haven't really lost or gained. I don't think Bardock and Goku really changed much value. I would just say the usage of different teams that I've run into by the end of last season and then kind of meandering into this season, especially more Jiren's at the end of last season, and Gogeta and fusions and all that stuff as I have upped them clearly. That's really impacted my frame of thought, what we're going for here. And Reps hasn't changed, right? You just run more Jiren, so that just makes Evo Kaio Ken even more valued, but they were still at 3. It's not like they lost or gained value. They're still very good. Again, Goku Bardock does not impact this list enough because they just don't fucking go anywhere. I mean, if they went somewhere, great. They'd be higher. They'd probably be 6, probably be 5 even. Who knows? Maybe even 4. I don't know. But no team, right? Evo Kaio Ken, very solid setup. And again, I mentioned Jiren walls off Goku Bardock. Well, how about this? You got, uni Reps right here. You're still running LF17, right? So you got Jiren walls off Bardock, and then you have Evo Kaio Ken who walls off Goku, and it's like, the fuck am I doing? The fuck am I doing the entire time? And it's the same case for the other units. It's not like there's much difference, though Janemba is very hard to wall off. Evo Kaio Ken can soak up a few hits from Janemba, right? Vegeta can soak up a few hits. And then Jiren, if he's up against Gogeta or Orange, it's very hard for him to take any damage, if not some damage. And then from there, he'll 2-card them back. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, they can go defense neutral, those 2 greens, right? He doesn't really care, Jiren. That's kind of the thing about him. He doesn't really give a shit most of the time. And if you're not running into Jiren, well, you should be lucky. Or feel lucky, because he's a pain in the ass. But number 3, Evo Kaio Ken. And number 1/2, I do think these 2 are interchangeable. I can't really formulate an opinion that makes one above the other. And again, I do not think Bardock and Goku change enough of the impact of the current meta to dissuade me from this opinion. But right now, I have it where Janemba and Beast are number 1/2. Actually, for myself personally, I am saying Janemba's number 1. I don't feel his struggle exists. Maybe I'm just kind of coping at this rate. I don't see this unit struggle. There's green units, okay. He's not hurting to kill Evo Kaio Ken. It's not hard to kill him. Now, obviously, he's gonna die if he gets caught, right? Yeah, no shit. Well, that's just something you have to play around, and that's just the nature of it. I can't really say anything else. You have to play around it. Beast Gohan, okay, well, he could get caught by fucking Janemba. Well, you gotta play around it, right? This kind of thing that works. And also, I guess you could run Janemba and UGB if you want as, like, safety against Evo Kaio Ken. This unit, just his gauge being so oppressive, his, especially if you hold on to the gauge, like, you use that shit when, let's say you have an ally, let's say Piccolo died, or Piccolo died, Gogeta died, whatever, and you have it where you'll enter, and then they did a strike, and then you had that type neutral for 5 counts, anyone's dead. Anyone. You don't have to ramp up. Maybe you did 1 card, maybe you did card prior, then they caught you, you did a drop combo, they did a strike off that, and it was like, oh shit, they forgot you had gauge or something like that. Who knows? You're just killing. Type neutral. I know that's a little bit rare scenario, but my more premise on that is this unit, when he does have type neutral, oh my fucking god, Janemba, what the fuck are you? You are just a deity among men. The heater's back on, going fucking crazy. It's not even cold here. Janemba just does too much damage. I think his ramp up is way too fast. His cover null one, when only clicking cards, is very good because he doesn't waste cover null, right? Similar to someone else here has that. I don't know who it is. They only get cover null when they click a card. Who is that? Someone else has that. If you know, remind me. I know it's someone that's meta, but like I don't remember who. It's a very good thing because you don't waste the cover null. It's not like Beast go on, okay, he gets 15 counts cover null when allies hit. Cool, great. I'm not in for 5 of those counts, so that shit's wasted. So it's like, I can't really gauge how long it's going to last. With Janemba, I can always tell. With UVB, I can always tell on the first entry because I'm always going to combo them on his first entry if I'm going to do an oppressive state. And then from there, you kind of make plays around that. Obviously, Janemba being also on movies gives him value higher than you could even fucking dream of. Jesus Christ, the revival safety, the supports, the team heal, the more support from Gohan, even if it's on blast, still fucking support. Like, who cares? Like, I have Janemba just, I've had matches where I just stand still. It's a 3v1 for me, and they have a unit that's type neutral. I can just stand there. I have my gauge from the beginning of the game or from the second gauge or whatever, and I can just have a blue card or get my ultimate from that gauge, and then boom. I can just stand still with this character and win. There's no one else like that. If that doesn't exist for anyone else, I would say Goku Bardock actually have a potential of that. It's just, you have to obviously catch them, but you can literally like AFK at some points with Goku Bardock and still win because they have indestructible, so you can like force situations to happen for yourself if you really think about it. But Janemba, he has that automatically. Goku Bardock, you gotta click some cards and get some things going. Janemba, they do a strike. They have to. They have 4 strikes in him. What can they do? They do a strike. Gauge. I kill them because they're type neutral. And it's like, there's nothing like that in the game right now. I can't undervalue that and say like, no, that's not good enough. It's too fucking good. Are you kidding me? And then Beast at number 2. Still very good value, but again, I look at number 1, I'm like, there's a blue guy right there who hits you pretty hard. You know, it's a little tough to beat him, especially if he's canceling your neutral on his own state of his, you know, buff cancellations and stuff he can do. It's just like, it's just a little tough for Beast to be number 1 in my eyes. I think he's debatable number 1, but I think Janemba secures it better off. Even if there is some more greens running around than blues, he's not struggling against these greens. While he can die quickly, yeah, these units do have these flaws of they can die quickly. Some of them, Evo Kaio Ken can die very quickly, Beast can die very quickly, Janemba can die very quickly. You accept that they can die quickly for how much fucking output they do, because Janemba, to yellows, there's no yellows in the meta, to greens, I pop his gauge, whether it be frame 1 or middle of the match or whatever, I'm doing like 800k to like 1.2 million, and while it's not the craziest now, units usually have around this 2.8 to like 3 million threshold. If they're not revival, pre-revival, they have like 2.3 to 2.5. I could do like 3 cards. I have cover null, they can't swap, they revive instantly, okay, go back to the drawing board, kind of make things happen. We have to do that match, and then from there, boom, I go back into Janemba, and he can just kill them off later on. And it's just like, it just feels easy. Even against greens, it just feels easy. But Beast, again, I think he struggles in that same mannerism a little bit more, because Beast against Janemba, while he does have obviously a green protector in Gogeta / Piccolo or Piccolo, I would say relying on a different unit would devalue the best unit. Janemba doesn't feel like he has to rely on other characters to really do his own thing. Maybe he has to swap out at points, right? Like, no shit, because the cover null runs out, his neutral runs out, no shit. But like, that's not relying on different units to do something, because this guy doesn't need X ally or that ally to do his job. Gohan kind of just like maintain his own sake and, you know, I guess livability, for lack of a better term, is he needs to swap out. He needs to let his green unit soak up some hits. He needs to let these gauges fill up. He needs to let his own gauge fill up. He needs to like let things kind of go on throughout the match. Janemba in early game setting, very good. Mid game, late game, very good. He kind of falls down a little bit, I would say, in a later game setting because he will not retain that neutral. But again, do you really need neutral against green units that aren't tanking? No, you don't. So it's like, do you really care about that? I wouldn't say fully. It does matter, but it doesn't matter to an extent that it should if there was a tanky green. No, there is no tanky green. Most units don't tank. Tankiest fucking unit here is a purple, and Janemba ain't disadvantaged purple, right? But yeah, that's my top 10 list. Janemba number 1, Piccolo number 2. Again, they are interchangeable if you want to swap them, but for me, this is how they're ordered. Evo Kaio Ken number 3, Jiren number 4, UVB number 5, Piccolo Gogeta number 6, Goku Frieza number 7, Goku Bardock number 8, Orange Piccolo number 9, and LS17 at number 10. Let me know what you guys think of my top 10 list. I'll see you guys in next